The car purred beneath me like a sleek predator, the electric hum barely audible over my playlist blasting through the speakers. The new car smell, the buttery leather seats, the dashboard that looked like something out of a sci-fi movie, it was all mine. I was on top of the world cruising down the winding back roads on my way to college. The future felt wide open, bright and full of possibilities, until it wasn't. It happened without warning. The dashboard lights flickered, then went dark. My playlist cut off mid-song, plunging me into sudden silence. The gentle hum of the engine died and the car coasted to a stop on the shoulder of the empty road. I stared at the dead screen, pressing buttons with mounting panic. Nothing worked. The Mercedes, my beautiful futuristic gift, was now a useless hunk of metal. Outside, the dense forest stretched endlessly on either side of the road, with towering trees that looked spooky. Shadows stretched long and deep, and the late afternoon sun began to dip behind the canopy, casting the world in a dim, orange glow. I reached for my phone, my stomach sinking as I saw the no signal icon blinking mockingly at me. I was completely, utterly stranded. Minutes turned into hours. The sun sank lower, and with it, the temperature dropped. The forest seemed to come alive in the twilight, each rustling leaf and snapping twig sending my heart racing. I stayed in the car, locking the doors, my eyes darting to the rearview mirror every few seconds. I thought I was alone. Then I saw the headlights. They appeared in the distance, faint and flickering through the trees. Relief surged through me, quickly tempered by unease. Who was out here in the middle of nowhere? The vehicle came into view. It was a battered old truck, its paint chipped and rusted, the engine growling like a beast as it pulled up beside me. The driver stepped out. He was tall and broad, dressed in flannel and worn jeans. His boots crunched against the gravel as he approached. A lumberjack, or at least that's what he looked like. His face was rugged, with a scruffy beard and eyes shadowed by a trucker's cap. "You all right, miss?" His voice was deep, almost too friendly. I rolled down the window an inch, my pulse quickening. "My car broke down. I don't know what happened. It just stopped working." He nodded, glancing at the Mercedes like it was a spaceship. "EMP attack," he said matter-of-factly. I frowned. "What?" "Electromagnetic pulse. Knocks out anything electronic. Your fancy car here? Dead as a doornail." I stared at him, trying to process what he was saying. An EMP? That sounded like something out of a movie. "I can give you a ride," he offered, gesturing to his truck. "Nearest town's about 20 miles back." I hesitated, every horror movie I'd ever seen flashing through my mind. But the shadows in the forest were growing darker, and the thought of spending the night alone out here was even more terrifying than climbing into a stranger's truck. The inside of the truck smelled like pine and gasoline. I sat stiffly, clutching my backpack as the lumberjack, he introduced himself as Travis, navigated the narrow, twisting road with practiced ease. "Not many people take this route," he said after a long silence. "Too remote, easy to get lost." "Why are you out here?" I asked, my voice sounding smaller than I intended. "Work." He nodded toward the woods. "Forestry. Been cutting these trees for years." Something in his tone made me incredibly uneasy. The forest grew denser as we drove, the trees pressing closer like a living wall. The headlights carved tunnels of light through the dark, and the further we went, the less the road looked like a road at all. "Are we going the right way?" I asked, trying to keep the fear out of my voice. Travis didn't answer immediately. His hands tightened on the wheel, and I noticed the scars crisscrossing his knuckles. "Shortcut," he said finally. We came to a clearing, and my stomach dropped. There was no town, no gas station, just an old cabin sitting in the middle of nowhere, its windows dark and gaping like hollow eyes. "I thought you said—" "I said I'd help you," Travis interrupted, cutting the engine. His voice was colder now, his earlier friendliness gone. He turned to me, his shadowed face unreadable. "Stay here. I'll check something." As he stepped out, I fought the rising panic. Something was wrong. Very, very wrong. I scanned the truck's interior, my eyes landing on a rusted axe resting on the floor near the driver's seat. I grabbed it. The next few minutes were a blur of adrenaline and fear. I heard Travis's heavy footsteps circling the truck, his voice low and muttering. When he tried to open my door, I swung the axe. It connected with a sickening thud and Travis howled in pain. I didn't wait to see how badly I'd hurt him. I bolted, sprinting into the forest with nothing but the axe and my backpack. The woods closed around me, the darkness swallowing me. I ran until my lungs burned, every snap of a branch behind me making my heart leap into my throat. I didn't stop running until I saw the faint glow of distant lights, the town. I never found out what happened to Travis. Later, I learned that EMPs had hit across the region, plunging entire cities into chaos. But out there in the woods, it wasn't the loss of technology that terrified me. It was the man who had used the isolation as an opportunity. Even now, I can't shake the feeling that Travis is still out there waiting for his next chance. And that next time he won't miss.